think we all understand your issue. And as you correctly stated, the ordinance states from block to block. And at the time it was put in place, there wasn't anything improved on that piece of land, so they just included it because it was within that block. Now that you improved it, you're now under the same rules and regulations as everyone else, right? But to amend it, as the mayor said, the people who put that in place should now come back and work with you to amend that with their own petitions, all right? That's just the formal legal way of doing it. I know somebody may have told you it was other ways, but we all, I think, can agree that is a way. So I would encourage you to look at doing that. Secondly, though, I do think, Mayor, that this is a long-term type of viewpoint, but it's my viewpoint. We put in ordinances that are so constrictive that there's never any availability for any type of flexibility. So when people come and have these issues that, in my opinion, are kind of common sense to be able to change, it's so hard to be able to do so. And so I think it would behoove the city to always look at ensuring that we don't have these absolutes across the board, but we always give ourselves as a body the ability to look at something and self-correct in case that there was some unforeseen or unintended consequences that are part of our ordinances, so that he won't have to go back and do all that work again when obviously the community is in agreement with him.
Well, I don't know if the community is in agreement, and it's difficult to self-correct something that the people themselves in those neighborhoods put in place. And I think council should always be very reluctant to exercise its will over people in those particular neighborhoods or communities. So if there's a problem here, the people in that neighborhood should then do whatever they did to put it in place to make the necessary correction.
So basically what you're saying is, you looking at Tony Flower, you looking at his signature right there. You looking at Miss Jones,
But what he's saying,
Maxine Conway, James Conway. All these people, you looking at all the signatures.
Wait, no, settle down.
So you just disregard that. Every signature that's on that paper that I just gave you is off of Easter Street.
Mr. Conway, there's a process that those individuals took to put the minimum lot size into place. The only thing that I'm saying to you, if all of them are agreeing with you, they need to utilize the same process that they put the minimum lot size in place to amend it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, and it's no problem. But the thing that you gotta understand, and truly understand, you dealing with somebody it's no offense to somebody's age, but you're dealing with older people that fought hard to get the minimum lot size, okay? And to come back and say, well, hey, file an application to rescind and file an application to reapply for the minimum lot size, just excluding that one particular lot, it's gonna make them say, well, if we take it off, then we might be faced with a situation when they had somebody come in the neighborhood and try to build a duplex, that you and this council body told them, hey, you can't do that, tear it down. Not only tear it down, but pull up the foundation also. So to go and say, remove it and reapply for it, just to exclude this one lot, they don't have a problem with it, but it's kind of hard to make them understand that that's the only thing you're doing. Because if you ask anybody, they're gonna sit there and say, this particular piece of property was never a part of Montgomery Terrace in the first place. And that was the reason why they filed, to protect their neighborhood, not to stop me from building a house. None of that, because they could care less.
I understand, Councilman Paul.
So silly.
I hear everything you're saying. I really do. What I think the city is putting forth is there's a particular way in which to do it. And I wish there was more flexibility. But I can't confirm that that is the case. It's looking as if yes, they put forth a lot of effort to put, that minimum lot size in place. They will have to put forth the same type of effort with your help to try to amend that. And by doing so, then I think everything will go in a formal manner.
Okay.
All right, and so my suggestion is not to fight back on that, but to maybe advocate for maybe a change in the future. But for your particular situation, you're probably gonna have to follow that procedure in order to get the resolution that you would like.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this and I'm
Hold on
going.
one second, one second, Councilman Thomas.
Thank you, Mayor
Is there a
Turner.
motion to extend the time? So move second, right.
Thank you, Mayor, my question is, for you, so, on the map, how can another subdivision be included in that lot size? And was it because it wasn't developed, that land, was it not developed at that time, it was just available land?
Yeah, the note that I'm looking at is that,
Because according to his paperwork, he's Harvest Heights.
Exactly.
research reveals that
But
only
Magnolia, right, but Magnolia Terrace is the one that initiated the minimum lot size.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not the entire neighborhood, it's the block that's in question.
Right, so, but that's in Harvest Heights.
Right.
Uh,
You didn't even look at the
What
damn
I'm
paper.
looking at is everything that I have, my deed,
It's Harvest Heights.
my plat,
So,
and everything says Harvest Heights.
Hold on, so I'm
Yes,
just directing
yes.
to the mayor, so I just wanna get clarity, when they initiated the minimum lot size, it was because it was an empty lot and it wasn't developed on that street?
And, I can't answer that for you. I can't.
Okay.
However they chose to define for minimum lot size, that's the area that's in question.
Which can include another subdivision, even though they didn't
Yeah.
initiate.
Yeah, however they put it together. They wrote it up, they presented it, the people out there voted for it, and the minimum lot size went into effect.
But that's not the
And then, it's also mentioned Mr. Conway was, and then it says, when this, right-of-way, the surplus plus right-of-way was acquired, it was then, I think, purchased, by Mr. Conway. And whether this is true or not, what I am seeing, what they presented to me, is that it is also mentioned that Mr. Conway was aware of the minimum lot size requirements before purchasing the excess right-of-way. Is that true or not?
That is not true.
Okay,
If
I'm
you-
not- I'm just-
I mean,
Wait,
okay, go ahead.
I'm just trying, and we're not gonna be here all day on this.
And you're right.
Okay, what, Mr. Conway? Okay. All right, anything else from you, Councilman?
No, I follow, I just want to be clear.
Okay,
All right,
can-
thank
can-
you.
can I make one statement before I leave?
And very briefly, Mr. Conway,
Okay.
I'm gonna let you have the
You-
last
you-
say,
you
and then
brought-
we're done.
You brought up a situation saying I was aware of something. I wasn't aware of
I'm just
it.
reading.
Okay, I understand you just read, but the council body here was aware of a site plan that I presented at the time, which includes 2700 block of Ferguson Way, all the way to the end, to the property that I bought from the city. I presented the site plan showing the development that I was doing. The people from planning commission approved that. The council body, excuse me, man, why do you keep shaking your head like somebody's? Do what you feel. But every time I start talking, she sit there shaking her head like I'm just making up something. You know, I can just pull this out the air. But like I was saying, it was approved by the council. And if it runs from block to block, the portion that I bought from the city is within that block, but it's unrestricted. My property says everything, and I talked to people at legal, I'll call her name in a second, her initials is AM. I spoke with legal, and she addressed me back to planning. And the thing where they said, oh, it can't be done, I promise you, tomorrow, I'm gonna send it to your office to where the amendment was done. A simple amendment was filed to remove a piece of property. So I didn't just come in here and just make something up about trying to set some rules of my own. I've been fighting with this over a year or something. My stuff, my paperwork, everything that I have says Harvest Heights. But like Ms. Thomas was saying, the people of Montgomery Terrace filed to protect their neighborhood. But it superseded my portion of the land. We just never should have had any bearing on my property, period. I'm not in Montgomery Terrace. I'm in Harvest Heights. Montgomery Terrace stops at the end of Easter Street. Nothing in Harvest Heights has the street frontage or anything. The only way you can get to 2700 Ferguson is to go all the way around Montgomery Terrace. So they filed, the citizens of Montgomery Terrace filed to protect Montgomery Terrace. It had nothing to do with Harvest Heights. And everything that I presented and paid my money for was approved by the council saying, yes, you can buy this property. So the only thing I'm asking is just to be fair across the board. You know, if you're gonna say I'm included in Montgomery Terrace, then put the street there for me. Give me all the amenities that Montgomery Terrace has. But don't hold me to no minimum lot size and don't give me no street frontage. Don't give me the deed restrictions. Don't give me anything. You tell me you can build a wood frame house, but you can't have a minimum lot size? Nah, that's not fair to me. In the city, since you want to go be fair, Montgomery Terrace has deed restrictions saying that a house has to have so much brick, so much land size. But the city tore down a wood frame house and rebuilt it back on blocks and didn't conform to nothing Montgomery Terrace has going. But you're gonna make me maintain a lot size?
Thank you.
That's not right. It's not right at all.
Councilmember
Thank you,
Johnson.
Mayor. And Mr. Conway, I know you spoke to my office today about the amendment. This is the first time.
I spoke to PJ last week. I ended up having Mr. Pollard, Chief of Staff, call over there and say, hey man, y'all need to help this dude with this situation.
Okay, well,
That was last week sometime.
Okay.
And then you and I,
we talked here, we talked
and
here.
Ms. Taylor, this man, we walk downstairs and you say, oh, it's just a simple fix. But it's not.
Well,
You know, I can get them to the citizens on the street. We can go down there and call and say, hey, is this part of Montgomery Terrace? Each and every one of them gonna say, nah, I never have been. I've been in that neighborhood. Not only am I a builder in the neighborhood, I grew up in the neighborhood.
I just know Montgomery, the folks from Montgomery Terrace, they fought really hard about those duplexes being built.
Right, this not, I'm not trying to build within Montgomery Terrace. If I was trying to build a house or split a lot within Montgomery Terrace, I wouldn't even be standing up here because I know that's a no-no. And the guy that did the duplex, when he was down there, I told him, I said, man, you can't do that. You cannot build that house. In fact, the house was right across the street from my parents. My parents sitting right there. They stay in Montgomery Terrace.
Well, my office will work with you and we'll see what we can do, just to, facilitate these conversations.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.